Y'all know what time it is. Y'all don't know, y'all better ask somebody. Hat on, suit on, looking like the Dapper Dog, giving them all just like $1,000,000 bucks, things in its cups. Y'all tell me who could it be but Steve Harvey? Yeah, and listening to me. Put your hands together for Steve Harvey. Put your hands together.
I sure will. Good morning, everybody. You're listening to The Voice. Come on, dig me now. One and only Steve Harvey. Man, oh man, got a radio show. Yep, trying to make it work too. I'm not trying. I'm getting it. I'm getting it done to the best of my abilities. Now, something funny my father taught me. He said, son, when you've done all you can do, if you've done your absolute best, and you look up and it didn't get the job done, take a deep breath and do some more. That used to bug me, man, when my father used to tell me that. He said, son, when you've done your absolute best and you think you can't do no more, you've done all you can, and it still don't get the job done, take yourself a deep breath and do some more. And you know what? I found that has worked every single time. Every single time. Because what my father knew was that what you think is your breaking point, or what you think is your all in all, he said, son, it's just something about it, man. If you just gather yourself, you got a little bit more. Everybody got some more. And I got to be honest with you, it has worked. It has helped me greatly. And, everybody does have some more. I tell that to my sons all the time. Dad did my best. Well, let me ask you something else. Could you have done anything else? Could you have studied a little harder? Could you have shown up a little bit earlier? Could you stayed a little bit later? Yeah. Well, then, okay, that's what you should have done then. See, there's always a way. But if you're going to create excuses, if you're going to make them up all the time about why you don't get it done, I have a very, very sad statement for you right now. You're never going to get anything done. You're never going to get to the top. Not to the top. You can get halfway up. Now, you can get a third of the way up. You can get 3/4 of the way up. But if you don't have that little extra reserve in you, you're not getting to the top. The top is only reserved for those that have the wherewithal and the power, the desire, the drive, and the gut-wrenching effort to get to the top. The top is reserved only for the top. It's just the top. There ain't but one top. In the middle done ain't it. The top of the mountain. Halfway, it's a different view at the top. things look different from up top. So if you want to get to the top of whatever, your profession, your field, your career, whatever it is, you got to do extra. You have to do more. More is expected of you. More, but here's what's really crazy. More is required of you. Don't live your life in a lackadaisical state. Don't wake up every day with the feeling of, well, you know, whatever happens, happens. Nah, man, have a say-so in your life. You, first of all, let me ask you something. Who has God? Name the person that God has given authority over you. Name the person. Where is it in Scripture? Where, anywhere, show me anywhere where it says this person has the right over you. This person right here, this one right here, you have to do everything they say and what they say only. Show me that right there. Show me who they're talking about. Certainly, I have not met that person. Now, my parents were great to me, and it was their job to offer me leadership and guidance along the way. But as I grew up, man, I had to go out here and get it on my own. But who is the person? Nobody has domain over you. God didn't create that person. So what you sitting here for, man? What are you sitting here for? Letting people who do not know direct your path. A lot of us get stopped because we worry so much about what people think about us. We worry too much about what people say about us. Why are you worried about all these people with what they got to say about you and all these people with what they got to think about you when here's the news flash? They don't know either. All these people that you overly concerned about, all these people that you go into these answers for, they need answers too. Stop. What are you doing here? Gather yourself for a minute. Here is a solution to all of that. You have one source that will be there for you to the end of time, and that is your relationship with God. That is the one thing that's solid and for sure. He's behind the wall. He's in your jail cell. He rides with you in the police car. He's with you on your job up at the school. He's down there in the board meetings with you. He goes with you when you travel on planes. He sits with you when you're in a relationship. He helps you with your parenting skills. He helps you. He's there to assist you. If you do the right things, he show you and guide you to your next job. When you lose your job and you think it's a wrap, there's some good behind it, man. God is always working on your behalf to those that believe. You just got to believe. He don't ask you for nothing else. Believe in me. That's all he asks you to do. What you tripping for, man? And then when you make the decision to believe in him and it comes out your mouth from time to time somewhere, what you worried about what people say? What you worried about what they think for? Why? Who are they? They need God too. You telling them you found something new, that you going to give this a shot right here. Now they got some yin yang and some yakety yak to say about that, when they need God too. That's what amazes me, man, about people. Sit up in here, man, be knocking your dream and stuff. Look, if you're an atheist, man, do your thing. Do your thing. But you can't create no laws where I can't do mine. That don't make no sense, man. That makes no sense at all to me. You have the right to go be whatever you want to be. You know, if you don't like the fact that I'm in school, got my head bowed down, and I'm saying a prayer before I take this test, just don't bow your head, don't you pray. But if some kids want to get it, that's some crazy mess. That's what happened in our schools. We took prayer out of schools. Now look at our schools. Our schools, man, you send your child to school, and someone else comes back home. That's a whole nother thing right here. That's not what I want to talk to you about. But I was just throwing it out because, hey, man, your relationship with God is essential to your success as a person. It's essential to your existence. It's essential to where you're trying to go and what you're trying to be, because he made you. Why would you not talk to the person that made you to find out what he created you for? I ain't talking about your parents. Who made your parents? This is God. We created in his image. Why would you not talk to your maker to see why you got made? That don't make sense to you? If you're sitting and gotten yourself in a situation, you sitting in a jail cell somewhere, you locked up, you doing some time, man, be a good time for you to reflect. But whatever your situation is, man, God can get you through it. He can give you the strength, the courage, the wherewithal, the understanding, everything you need, the wisdom to get you through anything you're going through. You just got to touch base with him. I need God every single day of my life. And what he's done for me, man, off the chain. But guess what? He'll do the same thing for you.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people from all around the world, you are listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Yeah, man. Baddest morning show in the land.
Woo-hoo. Yes, it is.
This show is dedicated to football fans. Yeah, football fans everywhere.
Okay.
Congratulations. Win, lose, or draw. Football is back, baby. And if you're from Cleveland like I am, ain't nothing ever to be excited about. I love them damn Brown corn dog pound. Yeah, we lost to Cincinnati yesterday, too.
Oh, you mean on
Yeah,
Sunday?
I'm so happy the Dallas Cowboys.
Did y'all score a point, dog?
No.
Uh,
I didn't score up.
Did Cleveland score a point?
No.
Yeah, we scored a point. No, but a point don't mean nothing when the other team damn near got 40.
It was a blowout like that?
Yeah.
31 nothing.
31 nothing.
Oh, wow.
They
But you're a
didn't
dedicated
score at all.
fan.
Thanks, go.
They
Now,
didn't
will
get
he
7.
keep his job?
I like your loyalty, though.
I'm
Win or
from
lose,
Cleveland.
you're with
He
him.
can't
Does
be
the
a fan
coach
with
keep
a
his
fan.
job?
Uh-huh.
Will he be okay?
The
Is he good?
coach do the players.
Oh, Jay is upset, Steve, by the way. He bought one of those headphones with a mic attached to it.
He
And
thought it was cute.
Yeah, he thought it was cute and it sounded like a drive-through.
Sound like a drive,
Yeah.
so they made me take it out.
Yeah.
So he's a little upset about that.
I'm
Me in
thinking,
particular.
I know.
Oh, it had the mic attached to it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there it is right
Like
there.
Oh,
Bobby
okay.
Brown.
Yeah.
Or something.
Oh, okay. He thought it was a
stage.
singer.
Yeah.
All it made.
All day. How about that? How that sound? How that sound right here, damn it? I'm using this all damn day. I'm really getting on your nerves with this.
Yeah.
Good. It sounded like Janet Jackson.
Sound like we had to drive through.
Oh, man. Junior won big. Junior's team won real big, man. They was a
77 to 14.
Oh, he got the
yeah, he
Texan
got the gear
jersey on.
Yeah, man.
When we winning,
He got cleats on, everything.
Yeah, man. He think he
the
going in the
hat.
game. Right?
when we winning.
Who is number 90?
Jadavion Clowney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clowney.
That's something I've never done.
Wore somebody's jersey.
Yeah, wore somebody else's name on my back.
Really?
I ain't never done that. Last time I was a little kid, I wrote Kareem. I wrote Elgin Baylor on my sneakers.
Oh.
Yeah, y'all don't even know who that is.
I know who Elgin Bailey is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Know about.
Yeah, I had Chamberlain on one pair. Yeah.
Got it.
And you would have loved Chamberlain too, Jay. Yeah, you would have loved Chamberlain.
Oh, the ball player?
Yeah.
Why, you like white women?
Oh, dog.
How was that the first thing
No, because
that was
I
out of your
know
mouth?
him. I've been knowing the man. He know what I like. I know what he like.
Why? Because he was a high scorer? Why? Because he was a great
No.
ball
No.
player?
That's what I was thinking.
Because he like white women.
Why? Because he's
Is it
from
a club?
Carolina like me?
Well, we got a couple of things to talk about. I have an apology to make on the air today. And Jay's got a, we're going to talk about. Yeah, that's what I told y'all. We had a
31
point.
to 7. Yeah.
Yeah. It was late, didn't mean that. But when you got 7 and the other team damn near got 40, what is it?
It don't mean much at all.
Loyalty, though. All right, something's funny coming up. Something funny is coming up, and we'll review the weekend. You have an apology, all of that coming up. We'll be back at 32 after the hour.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, here we go. Something funny. Time for something funny on this Monday. Let's check in, see what happened with the crew over the weekend. Steve, looks like you had an off weekend, meaning you were off work.
Well, we did radio Friday,
Yes.
but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday,
Uh-huh.
I went on a golf trip. I played really well. I am the self-proclaimed greatest every now and then golfer ever lived. Now, if you play golf, you might not like my game. But
Greatest every now and then.
yeah,
Every
but I
now
only
and then.
play every now and then.
Yeah. But you the greatest at that.
I shot an 89 the first day and
Wow.
an 86 the second day,
Oh, wow.
which is huge for me.
That's good.
For a guy that doesn't play but 4 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man, if I could play, if I could get me 6, 7 golf trips in a year, ooh, I'd be nice. One a month. If I could play golf once a month, it would be great. But I can't because of my schedule. But I had a great weekend, had a wonderful time, played golf on, thank my boy Greg Calhoun, Clay Burton, and I met Sunday, a dude came over from Palm Springs, one of Calhoun's friends named Isaac from Alabama. Lord Jesus, hit the ball further than anybody I've ever seen live with my own eyes.
Isaac from
This
Alabama.
big boy, Alabama. Isaac was stroking that thing, man.
He put the wood to the ball, man.
Dog, let me tell you something. I'm talking about where he hit, I stand there, I holler for the ball.
What he doing? 300 yards, dog?
Oh, dog. One time, man, I mean, the green, he said, man, we was on a short par 4. It was very difficult, but it was real short, like 320
He hit it.
He drove the green.
on up there.
Now, what clubs you play with, Steve? You play with what's the name?
I play,
Who are you going to say? Golf clubs?
No. Golf club. Yeah.
well, mine is like fitted, so I have a tailor-made, mostly tailor-made irons.
Tailor-made.
I got a couple of Callaway's
You play
hybrid.
I used to caddy, so I know the game. I know the game. I know the
Cleveland
game.
wedges.
Yeah, and what's your irons? What'd you play with?
That's what he's saying.
Mostly tailor-made.
No, the ones is woods and the others irons. It's not.
See, right
sometimes I
there,
was just saying.
you stop
know,
talking.
No, it's for real. Sometimes you don't have the
Cause
same
woods.
woods
Yeah,
as the
woods.
driver.
Well, they most. I play with hybrids.
Well, that was when the game
Yeah.
first started, and Jay was out there caddying when it very first
Yeah.
started.
Well, we
they
know
have
you
a
can't play
three
out
wood.
when it's cold because his ass won't be out there.
Yeah.
That's what we do know.
Yeah.
We know that when it's a cold, chilly day,
You know, when you handed back a Vance,
We're
that,
going inside because it's cold because Junior's locking up.
Junior's locking.
Junior's locking up. We're going to stop the game right now because he's locking up.
For those of you that don't know where,
oh, this is all day.
this is all day. They
It's not
battle
just
each other
here.
on their illnesses. Junior got sickle cell, and Jay is a diabetic, so they go back and forth.
Where else can you find this? Where else?
Junior,
nowhere.
Junior don't like it when it get real cold because it
Yeah.
can change things.
They can
for him.
change things for me. And he gonna bring it up through the megaphone.
Yeah.
He megaphoned
We
you.
going in. Junior's locking up.
Well, that's after you made the
No,
joke
this
about.
this is all. This is not just here.
No, it's every
This
day.
is over at this show.
Oh, it's every
Yeah,
day.
this
Oh,
I'm
everywhere.
sitting in the writer's room one day, and Junior comes and he gets hot. He said, "Jay, come here, come here. Tell her you know Harriet Tubman."
You all go
No.
hard.
We go hard in the paint, baby.
No, but let me tell you, no, this is the tripped out part. One of the guys had talked about he had drove cross country.
Oh yeah.
And he said, man, it took me a few days, 2 days to get from Atlanta back to LA.
Right.
And Jay was like, oh man, I remember when I did that. I said, yeah, dog, because it was harder when Jay did it because he had to do it by horseback. All them campfires.
This is all day.
Falling
This is all day.
stars.
We're writing jokes.
So
and
also part of the big news this weekend
Okay.
is O.J. Simpson was released
yes.
at 3:30 a.m. in the
Wow.
morning,
Wow.
and they just have a still shot of him with his coat on,
Yeah.
waiting. It looked like he had a phone, so he was texting.
Yeah.
He
He'll be
texting
back.
AC?
He's
He
going back.
texting AC? Who was he texting?
I don't know. Who
He's going back.
Well, I think their parting words were they told him.
He'll be back. No, he's going back.
No, but that's what they told him, Jay. Don't come back. And his words to them were, "I don't intend to."
He'll be back. He's gonna do something stupid. I mean, it's OJ.
No, I think
I don't
he's
think so,
70
Jay.
now. I think that, you know.
We already got
I
one
don't
crazy
know.
70-year-old. I mean, why can't it be another one?
Yeah, well, yeah, and we voted him.
OJ was moving though. He moved.
Yeah.
He was moving quickly
Well,
out of
people
there.
move fast when they
When
let
it
you
le-
out.
Yeah.
The gate open,
The
Shirley.
gate opened and he was out of there.
Don't have nothing to do with your age.
No.
I've seen young and old get up out of the
He was
prison.
moving. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'd have broke out running.
Mm-hmm.
So now, he's in Vegas right now,
He's
right?
in Vegas,
in a
but he's
gated
trying to
community.
go to Florida. I
Trying to
heard
go
he
back.
might be going.
He's in a
Yeah.
gated community.
Yeah, in Vegas, they said. Yeah, in a gated community.
Oh, they had enough of
The
that.
last thing I go behind is another damn gate. I see a gate in the wall. I just stand in the middle of the street for a while. 'Cause what we ain't gonna do is another
Go
wall
behind
and a
another
gate.
gate.
No. My first free day will just be in a park outside eating potato chips.
Just doing something.
Yeah, man.
Taking deep
Y'all
breaths.
got to give me a frisbee and a dog and go out there and just throw it.
A frisbee and a dog, I love it. But he's on, what, 5 years probation?
5
still.
years, yeah.
Yeah.
He gonna do something. Put your money down. I'm telling you.
He
Place
can't.
your bets.
Just-
Place your
just-
bets.
I can't believe he's going to do anything. I just can't.
Well, you know what the good part is?
Yeah.
And,
There's a good part.
no,
Trying to-
I mean, for him, yeah. I mean, you know,
okay.
that was the right amount of time for this crime.
9
that he
years.
did.
9 years.
You know,
30
now
because he
if
got
you're
33,
holding
yeah.
the 2 murders against him,
Mhm.
you know, which most people are, he should still be there. But
Absolutely.
9 years was good for the crime that he committed here,
Armed robbery.
and he deserves a chance to get it right.
I have a question for you sometime
Okay, cool.
before we leave, Steve.
Okay.
All right, it's Monday, so that means Reverend Motown, Deacon Def Jam are here with church complaints. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Coming up at the top of the hour, Miss Ann will be here. You saw her over the weekend, Carla, at Circle of Sisters.
I did. We hung out. I'll tell you guys all about it.
All right, Miss Ann is going to be here to update us with today's national news and headlines. And of course, it's Monday, so that means it is time for the Reverend and the Deacon with today's church complaints.
Yeah.
We got to get that organ.
We've got to work with this organ player, this boy.
Cicero?
Yeah, he's very, very slow with the come on. We today gonna deal with these church complaints.
That's right.
You know, I happen to reside over the most ungrateful parishioners of a convocation or anywhere in churches. So go ahead, Deacon, and represent the complaints, if you will.
Pastor, we have a situation coming up third Sunday. The light-skinned choir and the dark-skinned choir are at odds. They refuse to come together to sing on this third Sunday coming up. And I need you to discuss it with them, or you need to make a decision if you want the light-skinned choir to sing or the dark-skinned choir.
Well, what I've decided to do was release both choirs and just let their kids sing. Because the light-skinned people been sleeping with the dark-skinned choir, and we got a nice mix now. So we going to have the mixed kid choir. We call them the Melody Mulatto. They going to be singing all our songs now. The Melody Mulattoes. They come
The
from
Melody
the
Mulatto.
they come from the light skin and dark skins getting together. They say they don't care for each other, but they have been copulating and making kids, you know. And they big hit they're going to be singing this year is You Light Up My Life.
Throwback Pastor.
You light up my life. It's just going to be wonderful to hear these kids. Go ahead, Deacon.
All right. Do you think we could probably get Steph Curry to come out, Pastor, and be a part of it?
What you're not going to do is bring the NBA into this at all. You know. And, you know, they B selection is You Are the Light of My Life. And then triple selection, This Little Light of Mine. I'm going to let it shine.
Yeah.
And the dark-skinned boys leading that. It's going to be wonderful. Go ahead, Deacon.
Oh, man.
Well, Pastor, I don't know if you noticed on Sunday, Orenthal James sat at the back of the church. He wanted to come and have service with us. Now, he didn't stay. He left service early, but he left a note for you. He says he wants to join, but only if he can start a Ginsu ministry. So that's up to you to make a decision on that.
We're not going to let OJ become a member of this church because he's been in prison 9 years. He been pressing license plates and making bread in the bakery as his job. Now, having only earned 12 cents an hour, that came to his total earnings for the 9 years of $800. So he done tied it $80 and then sent it in total for 9 years. We not gonna be able to build nothing from the building fund with OJ's. 12 cents an hour. He done made $800 and sent 400 of that
Oh, man.
to his fund.
Income got to do with it.
Well, if you ain't making but 12 cents an hour, I can't fight you. I can't fight to get you a membership. I'm not gonna have anybody worrying about who they sitting next to and all this here. He scaring me. What we don't need is no scared church member. One lady said, I don't even want him cutting his eyes at me.
Nothing to do
He
with
gonna cut some kind of way.
Cutting is the key word. Go ahead, Deacon.
Pastor, the gum bandit is at it again. We have 52 pieces of gum stuck to the back of the pews. Sister Merlene Banks wants money back for her outfit that has been ruined, and half the choir members got gum on their robes. So we're going to have to find out who the gum bandit is.
Well, I told y'all what we were going to start doing. On the roads that the gum bandit has been hitting, we're going to have our young Sunday school class sit there because they usually eats the gum off the back of the chairs and re-chews it. So let us know what roads that they've been hit with, and that's where we're going to have a young kids card class. 'Cause they usually take that gum off and re-choose it. Go ahead, Deacon.
You got a solution?
Yeah, solving problems is what I do. Don't cut all these damn complaints out. Complaints usually come with solutions.
Sister Maddie Jean Burks is in custody as of Saturday night. She took a hearse from the funeral home. She said she was just borrowing it real quick to run to the casino and was going to bring it back. However, there was a body in the bag. Mr. Theophilus Carter, his funeral was actually Saturday morning. The body never made it. Bail is set at $5,000, and the Carter family is rolling around looking for her. You want to say
Well,
something about
that's
this?
the
She is a
third
member here.
incident we've had with the funeral home.
Yeah. I don't know why they left the body in there overnight, Pastor. but
Well, I'm actually guilty of a couple things myself because I had my nephew wanted a limousine for his prom, and they didn't have any more, so I rented out the hearse and took him in the prom in the hearse.
How embarrassing.
It was.
He was so ashamed.
Yes.
No.
So are you the one that got the suit off the bed? Because the suit is missing too.
Well, what I did was no body in it when my nephew used it. I just had him use it, and four of his friends were with him. They had lawn chairs in the back. They set up in there, and it looked really interesting. And when he pulled up in front of the prom, you know, I mean, when he got in the car, he killed it. That's what I'm talking about. Walk in there. That's all right. Go ahead, Deacon.
No, that's it for today, Pastor. That's all I have.
Well, that's it. Now, let me say something here about all these complaints that we've been dealing with. I want to, next Monday, limit the complaints if you can.
Oh.
Do they have anything to be grateful for at this damn church?
All right. So should we have Grateful Monday next week, Pastor?
Well, yeah, no, we're not. But I'm just asking if just one time they could have something to be grateful for instead of all this complaining. Because it's getting on my nerves now.
Sounds like it.
Sitting up here, light-skinned choir, dark-skinned choir. OJ want to become a member. Got the gun bandit, putting stuff on chairs right here. Sister Maddie done sat up here and stole the damn hearse with a body in it. What I care?
Take a knee, Pastor.
All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we'll have our national news with Miss Ann, and we'll be back right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
As we continue to pray for the victims' families. So, Steve, we have a lot of news to get to this morning. Miss Ann is here.
Yeah, so let's just get right to it. Ladies and gentlemen, she's here, Miss Ann Tripp.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, it has been a really hectic morning. A lot of stuff going on, and very sad news. Okay, let's start out right now. In Las Vegas, about 6 hours ago, at least 20 people were killed, and some 100 others were injured at an outdoor country music concert across from the Mandalay Bay Hotel. Now, authorities say the gunman shot the concert goers from the 32nd floor of the hotel, and then they went up there and they got the shooter. They killed him. He's thought to have been a local man. Now, they know his identity, but they haven't released it yet. He is dead. And here is Clark County Sheriff Joe Lombardo.
I have two police officers that are currently at the hospital, one in critical condition, the other one minor injuries. But there are other police officers that were off duty attending the concert that have expired. We don't have those individuals identified at this point.
Authorities say they're looking for the gunman's roommate, an Asian woman identified as Mary Lou Danley. They're not saying that she has anything to do with the shooting, but they just wish to talk to her. They don't know why this gunman did what he did, what his motives were, if he was tied. They say, again, right, they feel that he was a shooter, a lone wolf for some reason, but they don't know. So they are at this point looking for his roommate, identified as Mary Lou Danley, also a local woman. There are two terrorist strikes on Sunday in France and in Canada. First, police say two women were killed at the main train station in Marseille when a man came at them with a knife. One woman had her throat slit. The other was stabbed to death before soldiers were able to shoot and kill the attacker. That was in France. Then in Edmonton, Alberta, authorities are conducting an investigation into a couple of attacks there, and a 30-year-old man is in custody. Cops say the suspect first drove his car into a police officer and then stabbed the officer with a knife. The assailant got away. An ISIS flag was allegedly found in his car. Then he comes back out again, they say the same guy later that night, in a rented U-Haul truck, smashing into 4 pedestrians. The suspect is in custody. Now people continue to react to President Trump's recent tweets about Puerto Rico, in particular the one where he claims that Puerto Ricans want everything done for them. San Juan's mayor, Carmen Yulin Cruz, tells ABC's This Week that she'd rather focus on what's important.
We have to cut the red tape. That's the one message. And number two, let us not talk about the debt. Let us not talk about the cost of reconstruction. Let us just talk about saving lives right now.
That's right. Things have changed somewhat in that there are some people with water in the metropolitan areas. About 55% have water. But however, in the suburban parts and the country parts, about only 19% of the folks there have water. And, of course, there have been people there without water or food for 12 days. That's how dire the situation is. The creator of the award-winning Broadway production Hamilton, not so diplomatic as the mayor of San Juan, Lin-Manuel Miranda, who along with his father has been working on relief efforts in Puerto Rico, tweeted directly to the president, quote, "You're going straight to hell. No long lines for you. Someone will say, right this way, sir, and they'll clear a path for you." And in referring to Trump's accusing San Juan's mayor of poor leadership, Miranda tweets, "She has been working 24/7. You have been golfing. You're going straight to hell. Fastest golf cart you ever took." President Trump, by the way, is due in Puerto Rico tomorrow. Sad news for TV fans. Game show host Monty Hall has died. You may remember him from the game show Let's Make a Deal.
Let's make a deal, Monty Hall.
Monty Hall was 91 years old, originally Canadian. And O.J. Simpson is spending his first full day free as a free man. Simpson walked out of Nevada's Lovelock Correctional Center on Sunday after spending 9 years for armed robbery and other offenses. He was supposed to be released today, but I guess they said that, we'll just do, on Sunday, just kind of avoid all the press and stuff. The 70-year-old former superstar athlete and actor had been in prison since 2008 after he was convicted for a botched robbery. When he left, a reporter did get to him and ask him, where he's going to live, where you going to go.
None of your business.
Yeah, none of your business. Simpson acquitted in the murders of his ex-wife Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman in the 1990s. The Goldmans now say that since he's free, they're going to try to collect on that settlement they got in a civil suit against O.J. Simpson. Because of the trauma and what's going on in Puerto Rico, Saturday Night Live opened its new season 2 days ago, and Saturday Night Live took on the Trump administration's response to Puerto Rico. Alec Baldwin, with his award-winning portrayal of Mr. Trump, did another impersonation. But, he was like talking about, what should we do? And don't you know, it's as though he did not know that Puerto Rico was a state or anything like that. And perhaps that is the problem. Oh, here it is. I want you to hear this piece. It's Alec Baldwin, and he is impersonating he's impersonating the President of the United States, as he's done for the last season of Saturday Night Live. Here we go.
Ma'am, I don't know if you know this, but you're in an island in the water. The ocean water, big ocean, with fishies and bubbles and turtles that bite. We want to help you, but we have to take care of America first.
Wait, you do know we're a U.S. territory, don't you?
That was the joke. They didn't think that Mr. Trump knew that Puerto Rico was a Commonwealth. Playboy founder Hugh Hefner was laid to rest in a private ceremony over the weekend in Los Angeles. He's buried in the plot that he bought right next to Marilyn Monroe years ago. He bought the plot right next to her. Marilyn Monroe, by the way, was the first cover girl of Hefner's Playboy magazine, so I guess that did mean a lot to him. Maybe he knew her probably personally, I don't know, but that's where he's buried, right next to Marilyn Monroe, and he bought that plot years and years ago. And just finally, the Oakland Raiders, by the way, running back Marshawn Lynch walked into the Broncos Stadium in Denver wearing a T-shirt that read "Everybody versus Trump." He sat down during the national anthem, but his teammates and his coaches protected him. They shielded him. They stood around him so that the press couldn't get a good picture of him. And that's what they did for Marshawn Lynch. And today is International Day of Nonviolence. It's also International Guardian Angel Day. And we all need one, right? Okay, make sure you don't drive faster than your guardian angel can fly. We'll be back with Eugene the Butterfly at 20 minutes after the hour, so stay tuned to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, Steve, introduce Jay so Jay can introduce the butterfly, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, J. Anthony Brown.
Whoa! Do you know the butterfly? 'Cause I do.
Oh my God. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, J. Anthony Brown. Good morning to you. Shirley Carla Jr.
Hey, butterfly.
Tommy.
Good morning.
Mr. Steve Harvey. Oh my God. It's catching on. I came out on stage doing the play Mama's Boy, and somebody in the back said, do you know? I said, oh my God. Baby. Y'all had me giving it to the people. And thank you so much, everyone in Jackson, Mississippi. It was so good. But here's what's going on. I want everybody to know that I'm going.
Excuse me, butterfly?
Yes.
You sound a little nasally.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
My sinus, my allergies. Yeah, I'm a little congested, but I'm getting through it. Don't worry about me.
Okay.
You have to stick this stuff up your nose and squeeze it, and then it releases, and then it
Nasal spray? You mean nasal
Yeah,
spray?
that stuff. So here's what's going on. As far as everyone in the office, I am having a Halloween party.
Yes.
Okay. And
Okay.
here's what I'm doing. I'm giving everyone you're going to wear the costume that I want you to wear. Now, me, myself, I'm coming as Tinkerbell, of course. Okay, J. Anthony Brown, I want you to come as Hugh Hefner, because you like white women. All right, I want you to be Hugh Hefner. Okay. Shirley, you're going to come as Queen Elsa from Frozen.
Let it
go.
Yes.
Okay. Carla.
Yes.
Carla, you coming as Evelyn from The Wiz. That's sexy too. Now Junior gonna come as Jimmy Cricket. You know that way we ain't got to make any. Well, that's right. We ain't got to make any alterations for his suit. He's already ready for it. All right. So and last but not least, oh God,
Big dog.
Okay. Work with me now. I'm trying to work with you.
Come on. gonna be good.
You're going to come as Ichabod Crane.
I don't even know who that is.
I know you don't. Or you can come as Captain Hook. Or you can come as Jaws, the shark. You can come as me.
What a shark?
Or you could be Freddy Krueger or Chucky. One of them. Now you get to pick yours.
Well, you're the only one that could be Chucky.
Yeah. That's like a no-brainer.
Well, I'm giving you the option of picking some. But anyway, I'm Tinkerbell. I'm good with what I'm doing. Mr. Harvey, would you please pick a part, please?
Yeah.
Freddy from Friday the 13th with the glove, the
Freddy
scissors,
Krueger.
the knife glove, hand thing.
That's Nightmare.
I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mr. Freddy
Captain.
Krueger.
Yeah, I see
Well,
that's
you
right.
pick it for him. You gave him too many choices, Butterfly. We gotta go.
That's what's wrong. I'm trying to gain too much.
Yeah. All right, we gotta go. J. Anthony Brown in the building to murder. What another hit when we come back.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, if you missed it, come on, Steve. Introduce Jay with Murder Another Hit.
Ladies and gentlemen, J. Anthony Brown.
Please go to my website, find out what's happening. We start Lunel, October the 17th. October the 17th, Lunel. And Tommy's coming. Junior's coming. Shirley's coming. October the 17th.
What's your website?
DeAnthonyBrown.com. All right. This is capri pants.
My fate.
Dedicated to the ladies who wear capris every day. I'm not trying to insult anybody. This is not costing you any friends. It's just making a statement. Don't wear them every day.
Big girls are sexy, all that meat on them bones. Some outfits look good on y'all, some you should leave alone. Well, I'm here to let you know, girl, I won't steer wrong. A cute summer dress or tight pants look great, as long as those pants are long sleeves. No more plus size capris, girl, no one but you wants to see those pants up below your knees. They look better long, not under your knees. Those pants don't have sex appeal, but hey, that's just me. You wear them too much, like 6 times a week. So do me a favor, girl, won't you burn them capris? They look better long. Wear them too much, not under your knee. Begging you, please. Those pants don't have sex appeal. Wear some long ass pants. Hey, that's I'm sick and tired of them capris. You wear them too much. Should have them like 6 times a week. Right to me. Oh, you got it. Oh, you got it. Oh, you got it. You got it. Stop wearing those capris. Sister, please.
Hey, Doc, you know what, man? Ask can sing a little bit.
Seriously.
You wear them too much.
Off my line, Jay. They look better long.
They look better alone.
It's going
Great
on
job,
October
Jay.
17, y'all. Starting off Taco Tuesday, J-Spot with Lunel.
Lunel.
Yeah, tacos.
Man, you got if you got a business in Los Angeles, California, Steve, you gotta have taco night. It's mandatory. 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 Tacos every Tuesday.
Taco Tuesdays.
They go crazy for tacos.
Oh, good, man.
Yeah, there's good
They
food at the
super loaded,
J-Spot.
Jay.
Well,
I
yeah.
will say that.
Say that again, Tommy.
They super loaded. I mean, they got
Oh,
all
yeah,
the
they
trimmings
loaded.
on it.
Yeah, they loaded. Yeah, you gotta load your tacos up. You gotta load your tacos up. You gotta load. And man, your tacos are not loaded up. Okay, I'll load them up.
Wait, what else is there to put on there? Meat, cheese,
Meat,
lettuce,
cheese,
tomatoes.
lettuce, tomatoes, and you know.
Nah, you can
Peppers.
sour cream it.
I had some
guacamole.
tacos the other day.
Yeah.
Hugo's Taco.
Oh, yeah.
Off of Coldwater, I think it's Coldwater. Hugo's Tacos.
Oh, yeah, Coldwater Canyon.
Oh, Coldwater Canyon.
Coldwater Canyon.
And did you like them?
Yeah.
Oh, were they loaded?
What you mean?
Loaded means a lot of stuff in
Well,
it.
I had
There's a lot of stuff.
Well, I had beef and chicken.
Oh, okay.
I had soft and hard shell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have tacos in it.
I haven't had a hard shell taco in years.
Yeah, that's a crunch right
Tacos
there.
are big.
That's some
They're
crunch.
big here.
Yeah.
Taco Tuesday, Lunel, October 17th, baby. J-Spot. Check it out.
Oh, can I tell you something, J. Anthony Brown? Can I tell you something?
What?
You know how many women stopped me at Circle of Sisters hollering about this hip appeal? They was like, that doggone J. Anthony Brown has joined y'all. He is a fool. Hip appeal.
Championship team, baby. Championship team.
That's right. All right, coming up, the nephew in the building with his prank phone call right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Coming up at the top of the hour, right about 4 minutes after, you do not want to miss today's Strawberry Letter. All right, nephew, come on. What you got with the prank phone call?
Your wife is having a black baby.
Oh, Lord.
Oh. Well, is she black?
No. See, that's how you call white folks. Your wife is having a black baby.
Throw them into something.
That's how you do it. When you want to shock somebody, to shock a white person into something, your wife having a black baby.
Just like that.
It's gonna go south real quick.
Tell you right now,
The white man to tell him that.
Hey, dog, we fight.
Oh, yeah.
We fight.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
All right, let's run it.
Hello?
Hello, I'm looking for a William.
This Mr.
How you doing? Listen, my name is Simmons. I was, I don't know how to, oh man. My wife and I evidently go to the same fertility specialist that you and your wife go to, Dr. Are you familiar with Dr.?
I'm familiar with Doc, but that's supposed to be confidential.
Yeah, I'm aware of that as well, sir. My wife is out on business right now. She's gone won't be back until Tuesday, but I got a call today, a very disturbing phone call, and wanted to, I looked your number up. They did tell me what was going on, and kind of wanted to let you.
Somebody told you my number? You got my number from somebody?
No, I looked up your number. Here it is in a nutshell. My wife and I, evidently, you and your wife have been going through the same type of problems of trying to get pregnant and so forth and so on. And from my understanding, your wife is what, 4 or 5 months pregnant? I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, wait a minute. Yeah, my wife is exactly 5 months pregnant, but I'm still confused on how you're getting in touch with me and what this has to do with me.
Well,
I mean, all that stuff that we've gone through is totally confidential, and I'm kind of offended that you're calling me.
I understand that. Well, what's happening is I got a phone call from the doctor's office today. It seems like there's been a huge mistake by the doctor's office. Evidently, your wife has been artificially inseminated with my seed, and I was.
What?
I mean, I'm just as disturbed as you are. You know what I mean? Because I mean, me and my wife are. My wife is 2 months pregnant, and finally.
How could they do something like that? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. I mean,
sir, I have no idea. All I know is that I hate to use the expression, but I'm your wife's baby's daddy, and
no, okay, wait a minute. No.
So
mixed up. That doesn't happen. No way.
Sir, I'm trying to make sure I bring the news to you and see if there's anything that we can do to. I mean, after being 5 months pregnant, it's kind of hard to rectify the problem. So
okay, I don't want this to sound rude, and I don't want this to sound wrong. You said baby daddy. Are you black?
Yeah.
You're black, and my wife is gonna have a black baby.
Well, yeah, your wife is gonna have a black baby, but what I want you to know is I'm not paying no child support. That's what.
You're about child support, and my wife is having some other black dude's kid? Are you crazy?
No, I'm not.
Are you out of your mind?
No, I'm not out of my mind. I'm just saying I didn't lay down and conceive a child with your wife, so I'm making sure I'm not going to be paying no child support.
Man, I'm not even worried about the child support. I'll pay the child support. I'm worried about some doctor making a huge mistake and oh my God.
Your wife is having.
Going to have a black baby. I can't believe it. No, this is unbelievable. It's unbelievable, and I can't believe me this.
Well, don't you
I'm
want it?
offended.
It doesn't matter who gives you the news as long as you get the news. Now, what I want you to do is this. Please don't be giving the baby no white names and stuff. Make
White names. I can't believe that you're so. This is incredible. Incredible. Oh my gosh. Oh. Calling me on trying to give me. I'm ready to go crazy. This is crazy.
Okay, this is no reason to be violent, sir. You see what I'm saying? This already
No
lets
reason
me.
to be violent. You're worried about me about paying child support and talking about your seed and your baby's daddy and all. Oh man, this is bringing the best out of me. I can promise you. Unbelievable, man.
Let me ask you something, sir. Do you think you may need anger management? I mean, you're not gonna. You're not gonna beat my child, are you?
Oh man. You know how to push man's buttons. I can promise you, man. That's crazy. No, I ain't gonna beat nobody's baby.
See, I don't want you being violent to me and your wife's baby.
Oh, spin this thing around, huh? Man, where the do you live, man? Who the is this?
Okay.
Who the is this? Because oh man, this is crazy.
Well, here's what I'm gonna ask you. Do you think you might want to be the godfather to the child?
To my own kid? No, well, I guess it wouldn't be my kid.
It's not. It's me and your wife's child.
You don't you say that, you crazy. Don't you say that. Don't you say that. That drives me even thinking about something like that.
It's
don't
me.
You talk about something like that.
But it's me and your wife's child.
No, it ain't you and my wife. It was a mistake. So don't you even talk like that, you crazy. I'll tear a hole in your head. Don't you talk like that.
Okay. You're gonna tear a hole in whose head?
In your head, you crazy.
See that? This
follow me up. Yeah.
This is the kind of thing I don't want my child around. This type of talk. This type of violence. See, you white folks get mad and want to kill everybody in the room. Won't you kill who you mad at? Why do y'all do that?
You. This man.
Can I say one more thing to you? Can I do that?
I don't know if I can take any more news from you, man. I'm jumped to the phone.
I got one more thing to say to you. This is Nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. You just got pranked by your wife.
Oh, God. I'm gonna you're gonna kill that. Oh, man. It took us so long to try to get pregnant. She's gonna play a game like this. That's wrong. You got me, man. You freaking got me, man. Yeah, we listen to the Steve Harvey radio show all the time, man. That's awesome. You guys are great. Oh, man. I'm gonna go find her and give her a big kiss. I'm gonna do that for her. God.
All right, man. I got one. I got one more question for you, baby. What is the baddest radio show in the land?
The Steve Harvey radio show in the morning.
Shocked him, didn't I? Did I send him into something?
That's straight.
Well, I'm nervous. You make me so nervous, nephew.
You on the road, man.
Yeah, really.
A black baby.
Yeah.
Ice Cube. He gonna kill you.
All right, tell us about baby boy. How's it, Mama's boy? How's it going?
Mama's boy is going well.
Yeah.
All right, tomorrow night we in Raleigh, North Carolina, at the Duke Energy Center of Performing Arts.
How's Eugene doing? How's Eugene doing? Is he doing?
He doing good, man.
I heard he was stealing the show.
Eugene steals the show. I heard. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you, there's a toss up between Eugene and my character Bryce stealing the show.
Really? More than Johnny Gill.
Really?
Yeah,
hold up. What? Say that part again, because it's got to sink in.
Don't. Okay, go on. Say it again.
Come on. Yeah,
don't
let's
fall
hear
into this trap. This a trap.
Let's hear that again. One more time, Tommy.
Okay.
Who's stealing the show? How's the show doing?
It's a toss up
Listen.
between Eugene, Tommy, and Johnny.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's right
Still
in there.
ain't what you said.
That's not what you said.
He cleaned that up, didn't he?
Yeah,
I cleaned it a little bit.
thought
I
about
put a little
that.
soap on it.
So you're a bigger
Thursday
star than Johnny
Thursday through
Gill.
Sunday, Washington D.C. at the Warner Theater. Y'all get y'all tickets. The nephew is coming to town.
Who has to
You
wait
don't wanna
longer
miss
before they speak? Eugene, Johnny Gill, or Tommy?
Tommy speaks first.
I know them from the applause.
From
I'm
the-
talking.
yeah.
Yeah, from the applause.
Oh.
Well, last week
Well,
Tommy
now
told us.
Johnny get more roar than all of us. I ain't low
But wait a minute. What happened to when you just go out on stage?
Yeah,
you have to wait because
yeah.
the crowd goes wild. What happened to that?
speak.
I don't have to wait as long as Johnny.
Let the man do his part, please. Stop the party. Please. Please. So we can continue with the show. Damn it.
All right, today's Strawberry Letter coming up right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
We continue to pray for the victims' families. So, Steve, Miss Ann is here.
Yeah, so let's just get right to it. Ladies and gentlemen, she's here, Miss Ann Tripp.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Shirley. Okay, this is Ann Tripp with the news, and we have an update, a very bad one, actually. Cops in Vegas now say at least 50 people have been killed. 50. There were 20 people earlier this morning, they said, had been killed. Now 50 people, and that's at least 50 people killed in that mass shooting overnight on the Las Vegas Strip. It took place at about 10 p.m. Sunday night Nevada time, okay? But it was like 1 a.m. New York time. It depends where you are. But in Vegas, it was around 10 p.m. At least 50 people killed in that mass shooting overnight on the Vegas Strip, the deadliest in modern U.S. history. The hailstorm of bullets and the subsequent stampede leaving more than 200 people injured. The crowd was watching a concert. Country music superstars. Right now, it was like Jake Owen. He was playing, and then you hear the tat, tat, tat. Listen to that. That's when the shooting starts. A lot of people are not aware of what was going on, but you hear the shooting. He's still playing, then he stops because he knows something's going on. And the people start screaming because people are getting hit, people are dying. The gunman is now identified as 64-year-old Stephen Paddock. He was firing from the 32nd floor of the nearby Mandalay Bay Hotel. This was in a park or in an area right across the street from the park from the Mandalay Bay Hotel, and someone from the balcony was shooting. The officers there say that Paddock was eventually killed by the police. The sheriff also says authorities think they found Mary Lou Danner. That was the woman they were looking for. She was believed to be traveling with the shooter, Stephen Paddock, or at least a roommate. They wanted to talk to her because they wanted to find out who he was, of course, at that point. They also wanted to find out why he did all of this, what he was doing there. The massacre again started around 10 p.m. Sunday, Nevada time at the Route 91 Harvest Festival. That's what it was called. 2 Las Vegas police officers are being treated at a local hospital for injuries that they sustained during the shooting. One is in critical condition. The other one sustained minor injuries. In addition, the sheriff stated there were also off-duty officers attending the concert who may have died. The identities of those officers have not been released yet. The governor of Nevada, Governor Brian Sandoval, says on Twitter that, quote, tragic and heinous act of violence has shaken the Nevada family, offering prayers to all those affected by this act of cowardice. Country musician Jason Aldean posted a statement on Instagram saying that he and his crew were safe and that, quote, my thoughts and prayers go out to everyone involved tonight. It hurts my heart that this would happen to anyone who was just coming out to enjoy what should have been a fun night. And the hashtag is heartbroken, stop the hate. He said, we just ran for our lives. Again, just to repeat, the number has been upped about the dead as a result of a mass shooting in Las Vegas overnight. 50 dead, and that's at least 50 dead. At least 200 people have been injured. In Vegas was a concert on the Vegas Strip. Someone from the Mandalay Bay Hotel across the street started shooting. He is identified as 64-year-old Stephen Paddock. Police have killed him. They were looking for his roommate or travel partner, a woman named Mary Lou Danley. They have her in custody. At least they are talking to her. She's not necessarily a suspect in the shooting, but they certainly want to know about Paddock and what he was doing and why he was doing what he did. Several police officers also killed in the ferry. Nevada Governor Brian Sandoval saying, quote, a tragic and heinous act of violence shaken the Nevada family, calling it a cowardice act. Country musician Jason Aldean has posted a statement saying, my thoughts and prayers go out to everyone involved. Hurts my heart that this would happen to anyone who was just coming out to enjoy what should have been a fun night. It was absolutely horrible. We have a hashtag here, a hashtag heartbroken, hashtag stop the hate. Again, they're going to be talking later on, of course, and probably most of the rest of the day to Mary Lou Danley, trying to find out about this guy. What his motives were, if he was involved with other groups, if this was a part of some sort of terrorist group or terrorist cell that he may have been involved with. They're going to try to find that out, of course, by talking to her. who he hung out with, who came to visit them, and all that kind of stuff, because she was his roommate. So we're going to be keeping track of this all mornings. Please stay with us for the Steve Harvey Morning Show. And this is Ann Tripp on the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Hold on tight. We got it for you. Here it is, the Strawberry Letter.
Subject, the Internet Blues.
Come on.
Good morning, Steve and the crew. Straight to the issue. Steve, I have been living with this man whom I refer to as Mr. Our problem is he's into the internet and thinks that it is harmless. I find it to be harmful. Recently, I found out that he has sent some nude pictures of me to a few different men that he claims are off of Nude Africa.
Wow.
It's a nude website. Anywho, I feel very disrespected. He has made me feel less than a woman. I'm not into this internet thing, and he is the very first and only man that I have ever allowed to take nude pictures of me, and he promised that he would never disrespect me like that. He has not sent... Nude Africa, crazy. He has not sent once, but 3 times. I have tried time after time to let him know that this has pushed me to the edge. Not to mention that while he goes online, he posts profiles of himself and states that he is single and looking. He gives out a cell number and email address so that these internet freaks can contact him when he is not online. And yet he still insists that this is harmless and that it doesn't mean anything. It does, because I can't get any of his time now due to the fact that he is always online and lies about it or tries to get off when I come into the room. This man knows that I don't play, and it doesn't matter what he does. I always find out. I love him and want it to work, but I'm very sick of drama. Will you please tell him from a real man's point of view the effect and heartache the internet can bring to a relationship? I know he's listening. He's a very loyal fan to your radio show. I wish I could talk to you and fill you in on some more of this drama so that we can both hear what you have to say. Sweetie, I know you would get a thrill out of it, but until then, help me get a point across to him before I catch a case, all right? P.S. Also, do you think that I am overreacting when it's my body? And by the way, no, he didn't show my face, just everything below the neck. But still, I know it's me. I know it's me. Also, I found out when he sent the email to this other guy, somehow it was sent to my email too, and he claims it was a mistake. Yeah, right. Wow. Nude Africa? Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a site.
Nude Africa. You're looking it up right now, aren't you? You know what, girl? You may love him like you say in the letter, but he certainly does not love you. He does not respect you. No man who loves and respects a woman would do something so despicable to her. You know, I don't care that he didn't show your face. It matters not to me. This man doesn't care anything for your feelings because you have asked him to stop. You have told him how makes you feel. You know, him giving his cell number out and posting that he's single and looking. What? You know, this man is no good for you. He's no good. You know, let him go on and be on Nude Africa with the freaks. And you need to get a real man who cares about you and loves you. 12 after, we'll come back with the code cracker.
Wow.
This is crazy. Nude Africa?
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, come on, Steve. Let's get to part 2 of today's Strawberry Letter.
The Internet Blues. Good morning, Steve and the crew. Straight to the issue. Steve, I've been living with this man whom I refer to as Mr. Our problem is he's into the internet and thinks that it's harmless, and I find it to be harmful. Recently, I found out that he has sent some nude pictures of me to a few different men that he claims are off of Nude Africa. It's a nude website. Anywho, I feel very disrespected, and he's made me feel less than a woman. I'm not into this internet thing, and he's the very first and only man that I've ever allowed to take nude pictures of me. And he promised that he would never disrespect me like that. He has not sent once, but 3 times. I've tried time and time to let him know that this has pushed me to the edge, not to mention that while he goes online, he posts profiles of himself and states that he's single and looking. He gives out his cell number and his email address so that these internet freaks can contact him when he's not online, and yet he still insists that this is harmless and that it doesn't mean anything. It does, because I can't get any of his time now due to the fact that he's always online and he lies about it, or he tries to get off when I come into the room. This man knows that I don't play, and it doesn't matter what he does, I always find out. I love him and I want it to work, but I'm very sick of drama. Will you please tell him from a real man's point of view the effect and heart and heartache the internet can bring to a relationship? I know he's listening. He's a very loyal fan of your radio show. I wish I could talk to you and fill you in on some more of this drama so we can both hear what you have to say. Sweetie, I know you would get a thrill out of it, but until then, help me get a point across to him before I catch a case. P.S. Also, do you think that I'm overreacting when it's my body? And by the way, he didn't show my face, just everything below the neck. But still, I know it's me. Also, I found out when he sent the email to this other guy, somehow it was sent to my email too, and he claims it was a mistake. Yeah, right.
You're exhausted.
Yeah, I don't even know where to begin. What you want me to say?
First of all, Nude Africa, though.
Let's start there.
Yeah.
Let's start right here. Your man insists that this is harmless and that it doesn't mean anything. See, when a man makes this statement to you, lady, it doesn't mean anything. All your next response has to be is, if it don't mean anything, what you doing it for? That's all. Men don't do anything that don't mean nothing. We're very purpose-driven people. He's on Nude Africa because he likes Nude Africa, because this website does something for him. Now, what that is, I don't know. But let's just take a guess. Me and you, lady, since you wrote it. Let's just see. What is it that he could be getting out of this website? Some more naked girls is on there? Now, here's your crazy part. He's giving them his cell number and his personal email address. Now, what do you think is happening with these when they call him? And what do you think is happening when they email each other? What do you think's happening? You don't think nothing's happening? Here's people who are willing to put themselves on the internet naked and exchange numbers and personal information so they can contact each other to do what? They already got the naked picture. See, I'm just a regular guy. But let me put it to you this way. After we get naked, I personally can only think of one more step after that. I mean,
like cards, maybe?
I mean, we naked. Well, the cards is too late. We've already played strip poker. That's how I got you naked.
Dominoes?
No, I won the game. That's why we naked.
Maybe we could talk.
We was talking with our clothes on.
Oh,
style my hair, put on makeup.
See, once we get naked, all the talking over with. All the card playing and domino shuffling is done. See, we naked now.
Time to groan.
Let me ask you. Come on, Tommy, say it again.
Time to groan and moan.
See, that's all that's left. See, it's groaning time. When people get naked, ain't nothing left to do except work it out. There finna be some sweating up in here.
I'm hollering.
You know, if lamps and stuff start getting kicked off nice thing.
Yes.
You know, that's when you find out the bed make noise.
Yes.
And all that stuff start happening. Then we start tearing them fitted sheets up off the corner.
Yes.
You know, a lot of stuff. You ever had your fingernails go across the sheet and sparks be flying and stuff? I'm just asking. What do you normally do when you get naked? Now, that's what your man is doing.
Wake up, lady. Wake up.
He naked at the next level. This man that you've been living with. You've been living with this man. When y'all get naked, what do you and him do?
There you go, right there.
So, lady, what do you want us to tell you about your man? And why I got to tell this to your man? No, Cheryl, I disagree. It's her man, but her man doing this freaky mess, and he's still your man. See, the only way for you to stop this is issue an ultimatum. Men respond to ultimatums. It's the internet or it's me.
All right, Steve, you know we got to go. You can email us or Instagram us your thoughts on today's Strawberry Letter at My Girl Shirley. And switching gears, we talked about it earlier. Players and teams throughout the NFL continue to protest during the national anthem before games in Week 4. Some of the players took a knee, but most of them stood in unison. Oakland Raiders running back Marshawn Lynch made his statement wearing a T-shirt that read, "Everybody versus Trump," before the game. As,
That's what he had on
I
his
love it.
T-shirt.
Everybody versus, yes.
Was he eating Skittles when he was doing it?
Now that's a dude that
But
don't
you know
talk
something,
much, right?
though?
He
I
don't-
think that they've gotten it right. You know, I think the protest is outstanding. I think, man,
Show
the
of unity.
protest is necessary. For the players to still kneeling, I get it. I get it. I get it. Here is the part that you know I've been noticing. Donald Trump, in his criticism of the NFL players and angering them so, which he has no problem doing, he just goes about it. He's caused a lot of Americans, especially in his base, and others, they've changed the narrative of the protest. And they've spun it so now that the protest is against the flag and the military.
Yeah, you're unpatriotic. Yeah.
That they've changed the narrative.
They have.
They've so wrongly done that to make it against the flag and the military, which is not what those brothers are saying.
Absolutely. The NFL continued to protest during the national anthem before games in Week 4. Some of the players took a knee, but most of them stood in unison. Oakland Raiders running back Marshawn Lynch made his statement wearing a T-shirt that read, "Everybody versus Trump."
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, Steve, now what? Just say it, and then we have to move on, because I don't want you to be in trouble with
No,
your
I'm
wife.
not gonna be. No. Oh no, my wife Marjorie don't. No, if she thought somebody I don't like, she first of all would make sure they didn't come over. But they got in. I threw a party for my wife.
Okay.
And this person came to the party
that you didn't like.
I didn't notice it because I had my guest list be pretty strict.
Yeah.
But he came with somebody. And I don't really do +1. I got to know who you are
Yeah,
to
for
come
your
into my
home.
house.
Absolutely, as you
Only
should.
one do that is my kids. Them damn kids is stupid. People over at the house taking pictures and everything.
Yeah.
So I look up, man, I see this dude. And I said, honey, so I go and I call security from the front desk. I got people at the door, people at the gate. And I go, yo, man, did you check the list? Where is his name at right here? They said, we sorry, Mr. Harvey. He came in with so-and-so. I said, but I told you there's no +1. Sorry. It was so-and-so. It was so-and-so. I don't give a damn who it is. So I said, I tell you what. I said, go over there, just get his coat and hand it to him and just walk him to the door.
Wow.
Oh, no problem, Mr. Harvey. No problem. I'm so sorry. Because I'm going to get you out. Because you can't stay in my house. I don't care for you.
Right.
And so they went over there, and I'm watching the whole thing go out. So then he said, oh, no. I'm here with so-and-so. So the guard said, sir, you've been asked to leave. Now, I'm only going to ask you one time.
Wow.
And then we're gonna have to remove you. Because the security, they not no chumps.
You talking about the security I saw that you got?
Yeah.
Can I just say that was the meanest thing you've ever done to me? Really.
It was you,
It was
Jay.
We talking about like
Yeah,
right here.
like I'm not sitting here.
He retold the story. You right here, though.
Steve,
I just want you to know I took 2 coats. How about that?
boy out the door.
Wow.
But anyway, they got him out of
You
there.
got him out.
Oh, boy. All right. All right, here we go. With mean things I like to do. Come on, Jay.
This
Explain
is just
one.
me. This is me. This is not anybody else.
Okay.
This is nothing. Nobody. I like to do this myself.
Okay, because I don't really. That's not.
No, this is not you at
I
all.
do.
Okay, go
This
ahead.
doesn't even represent you. It's
Oh.
just about me.
Okay, so you
I
ain't telling
like.
me.
These are the mean things I love. I love to go to the store and where they have the potato chips.
Yeah.
And just mash the bags. And so when you buy chips and there's just little flakes in there, that was me.
How mad you been?
That's my
You over
word.
that back?
Man, when you over that
mean
back,
and wrong.
man, Just hit but you hit about 3 in the back. Go 3 deep.
Yeah, because I always pick from the back.
Yeah.
That's you?
I'm the guy.
Oh, man.
I'm that guy. This is so much fun right here. Let me tell you what else I like to. Anybody been to Cracker Barrel?
Love it.
You know Cracker Barrel?
Love it.
In the
Love
back, they have that big checkerboard thing where you play people.
Yes,
When them
yes.
kids come back there,
Yes.
Steve, I wear their ass out. I don't take nothing light on them. I act like I can't play. Hey, you want to play some checkers? And I go in on their ass. Crown me. You hear me in the back. Crown me. Crown me. I tear their ass up. This right here. This right here is so much fun. Go to the movies, right?
Okay.
And yell at the ending. Just to yell, the girl dies! Enjoy yourself! Yeah, the sick girl, she gonna die! She's dying in about 45 minutes. She'll be dead! Oh, this right here? This right here. This is so much fun.
So mean.
This is so much fun, though, Shirley. You gotta wait till you see an outside wedding. Wedding outside. Everybody's outside on the lawn and everything.
Yesterday.
Oh, yeah. This is what you do. You gotta get a megaphone for this.
Okay.
You gotta get a megaphone.
Don't do it! Don't do it! Dude, run for your life! Trust me, you'll thank me later. Come get in the car, man. We can leave right now. It's not gonna work out.
So much fun.
That's really mean, Jay.
You know what else I like to do? What? When people stop me and ask me for directions, here's what you say.
Okay.
Take a left, and then take another left. Now that means they're going to circle the block, right? They go, oh my God, I forgot. I meant to tell you to take a right, and take another right? Now, you need to be gone by the time they come back the second day. Because they're going to figure this out. And this one right here, I got to go. Pop a baby's balloon. Oh, my God.
Jay.
When they're standing there just to see that look on their face. Oh, that's so much fun, man. You know what else I like to do?
What?
I'm still doing it.
What?
I love to go to the pet store where the dogs are. You want to go home? I know you want to go home. I know you want to go, but you ain't going. You want to go? I know you want to go, but you ain't going.
You cruel.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, here we go, Steve. Our friend and family member, the one and only Emmy Award-winning journalist, Ed Gordon, on the phone with us.
You know, we about to interview one of the top guys in the game, man. Been friends of ours for a long time. One of the great journalists, man. One of the most thoughtful guys, too, out there, too. Very involved, very knowledgeable. Ladies and gentlemen, Ed Gordon. He has a new show on Bounce. A brand new show on Bounce. It airs tonight, October 2nd. At 10 p.m. Eastern on Bounce, and we're going to find out all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, Ed Gordon.
Good morning, family.
What's up with you, man?
How you feeling?
Hey, Ed, is the show just entitled Ed Gordon?
That's it. And, when I walked into Bounce, they said that's what they wanted to call it. I said, that's it? They said, that's it. I said, well, let's go with it. So that's it.
Well, you know, hell, they don't need to mess around. They don't need what they going to call it, Today Plus, this afternoon. Hell no. They said we need some identity. Yeah. We're going to call it Ed Gordon. So, hey, this is a big show for you tonight, man. Tell us about it.
It's a big show for us, Steve, and this is the fourth installment. It's a quarterly special. It's a news magazine, kind of like a 60 Minutes format, but this go-round, we did profiles of people. We did a profile of a brother who's got a fantastic voice, once in a generation, Gregory Porter. Many people know him from that duet he did with Kim, Holding On. And if you don't know about this brother, you need to know about him. He's got an extraordinary voice.
You would love him,
We sit
Steve.
down. What's that?
Oh, I just told Steve he would love him. You would love Greg Porter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, and Steve, if you don't know about him, you've got to check this boy out. He is bad. He is bad. We sit down with Yara Shahidi. That's the teenager from Blackish, and she is extraordinary.
Yes,
I mean, she just got accepted into Harvard. She is just one of those gems that we don't see enough of. You know, everybody talks about millennials and Generation Z or whatever they're calling them now, but this girl is extraordinary. We also sit down with Maxine Waters. We did a profile with her where I traveled to D.C. and to L.A., which is, her stomping grounds. And I'm going to tell you, it's one of those that she just tells the truth about Trump, and you got to see this. I mean, all this Auntie Maxine and Reclaim My Time, but she's so much more than that. And she's extraordinary. And lastly, and I was really pleased, everybody knows, Steve, of our friendship. It goes back almost 25, 30 years now.
Yeah, man.
But you and I sat down together, and what I appreciate is that you were very candid. You dealt with all of the things that people have been talking about, the ups and downs, the kind of hurdles you've been leaping over for the last 2 years. And I think it was a great opportunity for you to tell your side of the story, get some of this off your chest. And so I was just so happy that you sat with me and you were so very open about everything.
What did you, because we did this over a period of time, what were some of the subjects that you and I covered?
Well, we really covered everything. I mean, we went from the Flint comment that you made on the show. We obviously talked about the situation that you had in meeting with Donald Trump. We talked about the memo or the email that you put out, the staff email.
Everything.
There was nothing out of bounds. And I tell you what else. We talk about, and people don't realize, and Steve made a great point here. Famous is not always fun. People assume who aren't famous, oh man, if only I was famous, if only I was rich. And I've been telling people for a long time, when you reach the level that Steve has reached, that comes with a whole load of responsibilities and scrutiny that you don't have, even when you're just what I call black famous. When you're famous with us, it's one kind of scrutiny, right?
Right.
But when you start to become famous in a bigger arena, it's a whole nother set of scrutinies that you have to deal with. So I just appreciate that Steve didn't shy away from anything. He didn't ask as a friend, Eddie, don't deal with this. He said, let's deal with this. And so that's what we did.
Yeah, it was important for me because I don't do interviews about a lot of things because I just don't want to lend gasoline to a fire that's already lit. So how people approach me about the memo, how they really asked me about the Flint water comment, how they asked me about the visit to Trump, what they really said about the memo. Oftentimes, I don't say what I really think. But Ed, knowing Ed, I guess because we've been friends so long, I probably opened up quite a bit, and I'm sure I did. And I haven't seen it, so. But man, I got some stuff off my chest too because I hold a lot in, and like Ed was saying, being famous, man, is very difficult, and people don't understand what it's like, man, to have the pressure coming on you especially from my own community. You don't know how I really feel about black folk. Y'all, man, you can't even begin to understand the level of commitment and the love that I have for black folks. Now, having said that, I have also become general market.
Oh, yeah.
And now I've become famous to a lot of other folks, too. See, I used to just be black famous.
Yeah, like I said.
I was BET. I was that was it. That my life has changed. I've not always been best prepared for the changes that have happened to me. I don't. There's no school for this.
That's so honest and transparent, Steve.
And so even the visit to see Trump, how I feel about it, really feel about it, and how it got twisted and turned on me. But we dealt with it. So I think tonight. I'm going to watch it, and I very rarely watch anything, but tonight at 10 p.m. on Bounce TV, I will be watching that. And if you want to, Ed, if you get it to me after it comes on, let me know. because I'll post it. I think it's a.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to get it to you. And I want everybody to know this, though. And Carla and I were just at Circle of Sisters over the weekend. We saw one
That's
another.
right.
Hey, Ed.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed, hang on, man. We're going to bring you right back. Hang on. We'll be right back. More with Ed Gordon.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, we're back with Ed Gordon, journalist extraordinaire, talking about the brand new interview with you, Steve Harvey, and how you opened up with his on his show on Bounce.
Yeah.
So you were saying it.
Yeah, I didn't want people to miss this point, and I think it's important. Steve touched on it, but I was just with Carla. I was saying at Circle of Sisters in New York, and during the town hall meeting, I was talking about the show because we were talking about Maxine Waters and what she talks about, and I'm telling you, Maxine is on fire during this interview. I asked her, did she just point blank think Trump a racist? And she said initially she did not, but she absolutely does now, and she gets into some of the reasons, and she's really, really upfront about it. But what I want people to look at, and when I was talking to the people at Circle of Sisters, there were some people who were really disappointed in some of the things that Steve has had to deal with in terms of, the faux pas, and some of it, quite frankly, I believe, and I say this, I've said it to him privately, I'll say it now, some of it his own doing. I think there were maybe better ways of doing certain things. But what he didn't get is benefit of the doubt. And he opens up about that and talks about that in a way that I think even people who may have felt like I didn't like it, after they see this, I'll be interested to see what they think, because you can see his want to do for us. And I don't say this, I know some people are going to say, oh, that's your boy, you're just saying this, but everybody knows I've not built my career that way.
Right.
And I don't shy away, no matter who you are, about certain questions, and we lay it out on the line. Steve talks about, even most recently, the things that have been in the gossip magazines, but I want people to see the emotion that he brings to the answer when he talks about how he felt when black people didn't give him that benefit of the doubt. I want people to see that.
It was one of the, I'm going to tell you, man, and that was one of the most hurtful things for me. And for black people, because they turned on me so cold, man. They turned on me so cold. And I went, damn, really, man? Me? And the spin that really hurt me was a lot of, I got if you don't know me. I got that.
Oh, yeah.
But if you know me, though, and you spin on me because it was the trending thing to say.
Because everybody else was
And like
saying.
I said, it wasn't not just on Twitter or it was to your face. People would stop you and say mean things.
But I think it's a testament to Ed and his professionalism and everything that allowed you to trust him, Steve, to go ahead and be that transparent and open up
Because
to Ed.
He was very honest with me. He said, Steve, I thought you could have handled a couple of things differently.
Yeah.
And you know what? And talking to Ed about it, and the hindsight, I wish I had done some things so differently. I tell you one thing I wish. I wish I never had took my ass back out there when I said the wrong name on that damn Miss Universe thing. I wish I hadn't took my ass out there trying to be courageous and do the damn right thing. Took my ass back out there. Because I said, nah, man, if it's on me, let me go out there. Full well knowing it wasn't really on me. Because I read the teleprompter. 2 minutes later, all hell broke loose.
What that dude? What the dude that was in your ear? Where is he?
He the damn director.
All right, Ed. We thank you. We love you as always. We'll be watching tonight.
Ed Gordon tonight, October 2nd, 10 p.m. on Bounce, everybody. Probably one of the best interviews I've done about some of my life. We're going to get some of the clips from the show in a couple of days. Play some of these answers back. Let y'all see what I said. Oh, Lord.
Thank you, Ed. We love you.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, boy. Thank you, man.
All right, Ed. Bye.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Puerto Ricans and Hollywood celebrities like Ellen DeGeneres, like Kim Kardashian, Rosie Perez, Lady Gaga, John Legend, and the list goes on, slammed Donald Trump over the Puerto Rico incident, over the hurricane. On Saturday, President Trump tweeted that leaders of Puerto Rico want everything to be done for them when it should be a community effort. Trump seemed to be responding to,
I can't believe
I cannot believe he did this. And he called the mayor of San Juan a poor leader. I mean, he cut into her. You know, it was horrible.
She was begging.
Yeah.
She said people are dying.
People are dying here. That's exactly what she
Mayor
said.
Carmen.
Yeah. She said, if anyone can hear us, Mr. Trump can hear us. Let's get it over with and get the ball rolling. Some Puerto Ricans feel like Trump is blaming the actual victims of two back-to-back hurricanes, but he didn't blame Texas or Florida residents for Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Harvey. As Puerto Ricans begged for help, Trump attended. Yeah, you know, he was at the golf tournament, the president's golf tournament over the weekend, becoming the first sitting president
He's
to do
insulting her while he's at a golf course.
Yeah. And he blamed it on the
And
Democrats.
saying she's a poor leader.
Yeah, he said she was a poor leader. He blamed it on the Democrats, saying they told her to be nasty to him. And she said, that's not it. She said, I'm not even really a Democrat. She said, I can identify with some of their values, but I'm not a Democrat. So it was just a mess. I mean,
but here's the thing with us. Why are we still surprised when Trump surprises us?
Yeah.
I mean, we're still.
But you know, I gotta
levels
admit,
of surprise.
Yeah, I gotta admit, man.
This is shocking.
I be stunned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
I'm not with anything he does.
And
I
he's
mean,
so unapologetic for anything.
But you know, man, the levels of it.
Yeah.
It's what throws you. I mean, you can't even for a moment. Do you understand what Puerto Rico is really happening over there? No, because you won't go over there. You're supposed to go over there Tuesday,
tomorrow,
right?
Yeah, tomorrow he's going. Yes. He said that last week.
But, man, after you say that, now when you get over there and you see it,
then what?
Now, how you going to slant this?
Yeah.
They say that Puerto Rico's surrounded by big water. I mean,
a big ocean.
Yeah.
It's a big ocean.
Big ocean.
Big water.
Really big ocean.
Big ocean.
Really big ocean.
Yeah.
Like,
Really
we know
big.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're in the situation that they're in right now.
But I didn't understand. He said, what now that they should?
Well, he said that, you know, he called her a poor leader. He said that, you know, it should
Puerto
be
Ricans should be doing what, though?
Well, that it should be a community effort. He said that they want everything to be done for them and that it should be a community effort.
They have nothing to help themselves with.
There are no communities.
First of all,
everything's gone.
Listen to me. The banking system is down because of electricity. They can't even get money.
Yeah.
Then they stand in line for hours at grocery stores and the shelves are empty.
Yeah.
There is no gasoline.
No power for their
There
phones.
is no power and no medicine getting to these people.
All of that.
And he's bringing up the outstanding debt that Puerto Rico has.
Yeah, why would you bring up the debt?
Yeah. From people who really need.
Yeah, he does realize now that Puerto Rico is part
they
of us.
They have nothing to pay you.
But he realizes that now, though, doesn't
It's not. Puerto Rico is a part of the United States.
Yeah.
A territory.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to talk about how much North Korea owe you, then we'll be listening to that.
Right.
If they owe you anything. But what you cannot do, that's
so sad.
Man, I
It's
didn't know
so
that.
sad.
But you know, when I hear that, I'm surprised. That's the first I've heard of it.
I
He
ain't
keeps
surprised.
surprising me at the levels.
I ain't
Yeah, so
surprised.
you golfed over the weekend, and so did
know.
the president.
That's it.
All right, we got to go to break. We'll be back.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, here we go with just one more thing. And you guys know that the Carolina Panthers are riding high after yesterday's big win against the New England Patriots. Plus, the Charlotte Observer is reporting that the Carolina Panthers, Jay, I see that smile on your face.
The Panthers beat the Patriots, baby!
The coach, Ron Rivera, is donating $50,000. That's right, I said $50,000 to the hurricane relief efforts in Puerto Rico, President Donald Trump. Rivera's father is from Puerto Rico, and he said all his family members on the island have been accounted for in the wake of the storm.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's good.
Thank you. Thank God.
Hey, I want to say something. I want to give an apology, a really sincere apology, to Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. Normally, when people apologize or they do a retraction, they put a little blurb in the paper. But I'm not that way. Look, if I make a mistake and I made it on the radio, what I'm not going to do is put in a personal text or tweet an apology or something. But Minister Louis Farrakhan and the brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam an apology for misspeaking the other day about a YouTube clip that's out with Minister Farrakhan on it, making a certain statement. I obviously misspoke. I misinterpreted what he said. I offered him my humblest apologies. Minister Louis Farrakhan has been nothing but kind to me. He has been nothing but encouraging to me. We have known each other for years. This man has reached out to me and encouraged me in moments when people were turning their back on me. So I have nothing but the highest level of love and respect for him, period. And the brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam that I have friendships with, y'all know my heart. It was not my intent to be disrespectful in any way. So my humblest apologies goes out to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam and all the brothers and sisters there. That was not my intent. I misinterpreted it, obviously, and that was not my intent in any way. So I'm apologizing on the air. I want you all to know my heart that I got love for y'all, brothers and sisters over there. Always have. We've done so many great things together with Feed My Flock out in L.A., with the peace initiatives, with gangbangers, Minister Tony Muhammad, his son. I've known him for years. I just meant no disrespect in any way. So I just wanted to say that publicly, man, because, he's been nothing but encouraging to me. So the brothers and sisters over there, I got mad love for y'all, always have, and the highest level of love and respect for him. So no disrespect intended at all. Please forgive me.
All right, Steve. Appreciate that. Yeah.
But don't do it no more. I don't even know what you said, but don't do it no more. Whatever you did, don't do it no more.
Well, hell,
do it.
I'm trying. Like Ed said.
Hey, we're all a work in progress. You know, we make mistakes.
Keep trying to get it right.
Who among us is perfect?
That's right.
You know?
I wish I was, but then they're still far off on you because they done Jesus. So.
Yeah.
And I ain't even close. Yeah. I ain't even in the ballpark.
Yeah. Jesus,
yeah. I ain't even.
All right, so what have we learned today? Let's see. OJ's out.
Shut your damn mouth.
Out. Yeah.
Juice is loose. Yeah.
Juice is loose.
Yeah, these are the things we learned today.
I'm going to
watch Ed Gordon tonight and see Steve open up some more.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Some bounce, yeah.
Jay likes white women. We've learned that.
We've already
known that's nothing new.
Yeah.
We've already known that.
You think
your president is going to Puerto Rico tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, definitely. We'll be watching to report how that's going to go.
Welcome committee when he land over there.
Oh, yeah. What's the mayor going to do when he comes? Mayor Cruz.
Why nobody out here looking for me?
Oh, yeah.
Junior, I was in New York this past weekend. Let me tell you, the community, it was, they were very upset.
A lot of Puerto
Ricans, a lot of folks from the island.
Oh, they're upset with Trump. They should be, right?
Man, they were not trying to hear it.
No, it ain't nothing to hear. Help.
I'm telling you, Steve.
Help. You got to send help right now. You got to stop all this politics in a bit talking about they blaming it. It should be a community effort. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that was
blaming the
horrible.
victims.
Yeah, they over there doing everything they can. Man, hey, you know what, man? This was against Mother Nature. This rough, man.
Yeah,
Mother Nature ain't no joke.
I just don't get why he would say that. I just don't get it. But anyway, we'll be watching tomorrow when he goes to Puerto Rico, when he lands, when he gets on the plane, when he gets off the plane, all of that.
Report on the crowd size when
Yes,
he touches down.
yes.
On this one.
Yeah.
But it's just like the Puerto Ricans were saying. He didn't blame the people in Texas. He didn't blame Florida. So how are you blaming us?
It's
like
really bad.
Electoral college votes.
Yeah.
Do the math.
And don't forget, tonight, guys, Monday Night Football, the Redskins at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
What? Put your money on the Chiefs. You know the Redskins had a good win.
Oh, really, huh?
Chiefs.
Okay.
Yeah, but put your money. Them Chiefs is serious business.
Really?
Yeah, Chiefs.
Okay.
They real good.
Did you see the 49ers? How they did their protest on Sunday? Did
No, how they do it?
Yeah, they had half of them kneeled and then half of them stood behind them, right?
Yeah, that was the most striking form of protest I've seen. How they did it.
Wow. And again,
Colin
it's not
Kaepernick.
against our American flag or our national anthem. It's not against that. No.
I want Kaepernick to get a job. That's what I want.
It's too many quarterbacks that are really bad for him not to be playing.
Yeah, the
Come on,
like
man.
the team he just left.
Cleveland. Yeah.
You keep saying
Why
Cleveland.
you saying Cleveland?
You know,
Why we won't call him? Why we won't call him?
Spike Lee said it's going to take someone like the man who brought Jackie Robinson into the baseball league.
Anyway, it was 2000.
To hire Colin Kaepernick. And we got to go, Steve.
For all Steve Harvey contests, no purchase necessary, void where prohibited. Participants must be legal U.S. residents at least 18 years old, unless otherwise stated. For complete contest rules, visit steveharvey.com.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.